Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Here I will go over the syllabus for our course. I'm not going to go over everything in detail, but I just want to make sure to highlight some particular areas. You should, however, make sure to look through the syllabus on your own. And if you still have any questions, make sure to email me. So this is ETST 2108 Intro to Chicanx/Latinx Studies for the spring 2026 semester. In this area, the thing to note here is my email address. Email is the best way to communicate with me about any questions you may have, any issues you may have, concerns. So make sure to note my email address. In this course, what we're going to do is have an introduction to the field of Latinx studies. And so each week we'll discuss different themes that are addressed throughout the field of Latinx studies to give you an introduction to the kinds of things that we talk about and study in this field. In the next section, just really talking about the importance of valuing multiple perspectives, especially in a course like this one. Then we have course goals and learning objectives that tells you what kinds of things you'll be learning, the skills you'll be developing in this class, and why that's important. Because this is an online class, I know how difficult it can be to get to know your professor or have any sense of who they are. So I try to incorporate some information in the syllabus that tells you a little bit about my teaching philosophy, my teaching style, and also some of my background information. In the online elements of this course, one of the key things to note is that the week in this class begins on Tuesday and ends on Monday. That means that every Tuesday morning, the new module for the week will go up live on Canvas, and any assignments that you have due will be due the following Monday. I do that for a couple of reasons. One is to give you the full weekend to be able to do the work for this class. And also because I know a lot of other online classes have their courses or their weeks end on Sunday night. And I don't want to be just one more class that you have to kind of rush through to get all your work done. So hopefully that's a little bit helpful for you. I also talk here about my office hours, which because this is an online course, I offer via Zoom by appointment. So if you'd like to meet with me, please email me and I'd be happy to schedule a meeting with you. The next section gives you the list of what the assignments are for the course, their value in terms of points. There is no extra credit in this class. You have plenty of things to do, as you can see, in which to focus on. You have your grading rubric, and then this next section gives you descriptions of the major assignments. The first one will be a syllabus quiz, which is why you should make sure to go through the syllabus in detail on your own. This will be due during the first week of classes, and it will be asking you questions that come from the syllabus. The next assignment is the introductory paper. This has two parts to it. The first one will be due the second week of classes. And in that first part, you will be responding to this prompt here. What do you already know about Chicanx Latinx history, culture, and identities? How did you learn the knowledge that you have? In the second part, which isn't due until the end of the semester, you revisit what you responded in this first part and then write a reflection on what has changed in your knowledge as a result of the course. So the first part is due February 2nd. The second part won't be due until May 4th. You also have discussion posts due every week, and this is based on whatever materials we've covered for that particular week. So you will have a choice of questions to respond to. You choose one, write your response, which should be at least 150 words. And you should also make sure to respond to at least one other student. You will not get the full points if you do not respond to one of your peers. You will earn 10 points every week for the discussion posts, and make sure that your responses to your peers is more than just an "I agree with you" kind of statement. Then we have the letter assignment. For this assignment, you'll be writing a letter to someone of your choosing, discussing what you have learned in the first half of the semester. So you should be intentional on who you choose to address this letter to, because you also have to include a reflection page explaining who you chose, why you chose them, and what you would like them to get out of this letter if they should ever read it. The letter assignment will be due April 6th. And the assignments, when they open up on Canvas, have a lot more detailed instructions. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do each assignment, what the grading rubric is, and so on. So make sure to, as soon as those assignments open up, that you go in and read those instructions in detail. Then we have 2 portfolios. One will be due March 2nd, and the other will be due during finals week, May 14th. And what these look like are that you get a list of 10 prompts to choose from, and you choose 5 prompts to respond to. Each response should be 1 to 2 pages, so the completed portfolio should be between 5 and 10 pages. And again, the prompts will be questions that ask you to discuss things we've talked about in class, and will also, some of the questions will point you to other websites or articles that relate to the things that we've talked about. The next section goes over various course policies. The main one to look at here or to remember is the late work and extensions section. There are no extensions for discussion posts unless you have some extenuating circumstances, in which case make sure to email me so we can discuss. But you do have the system for asking for extensions, which are what I call OOPS tokens. You get 2 of those for the semester. You can use those for any assignment except discussion posts or the final portfolio. The OOPS token should be downloaded from the OOPS token page on Canvas, and you can submit that to me via email at least 1 hour before the assignment is due. The OOPS token gives you automatic 3-day extension. No questions asked, no need to explain. Just send me the OOPS token and you get a 3-day extension. Use of ChatGPT is explained here. My preference and my policy, I guess, is that you are prohibited from using these for your assignments. I want to hear what you think about the material we're covering, not what a robot thinks. Attendance policy, since this is an online course, obviously we will not be taking attendance, but you do need to sign on to Canvas every week to do your modules. The incompletes policy is there if at the end of the semester you feel the need to take an incomplete in the class. Here in this next session, I talk about my email policy. I'm available and usually respond quickly if you email me Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or sparingly on weekends. So just so you know, to not expect a quick response if you email me after 5 o'clock or during the weekends. Communication is also important if you're going through some challenges during the semester that prevent you from being able to submit your assignments on time. So please make sure to communicate those things to me beforehand so we can come up with a plan. Waiting until the end of the semester to let me know then that something had been going on throughout the semester is too late. You have the student code of conduct explained there, academic freedom, the FERPA rules about your educational rights and privacy, discrimination and harassment, and the grade appeal process should you want to appeal your grade in this class. So those are there for your information should you need to use them at any point. This next section just releases a list of resources on campus that are available to provide extra help or support. Again, here I talk about student office hours, the importance of those, and how to communicate with me if you'd like to meet. If you are a student who needs accommodations for disabilities, please make sure to go through that office. They will then send me a prompt about what accommodations you need, and then we can move forward from there. If you have any religious holiday accommodations for the semester, again, let me know in advance so that I can make those accommodations for you. We also have on campus the Student and Community Counseling Center, the Writing Center, the Phoenix Center. We have a food pantry. If you are a veteran or military student, we do have an office on campus to provide support. We also have the Center for Access and Campus Engagement, and finally, the LGBTQ Resource Center. Here I have listed the 2 books that we will be using for this class. The first is called Keywords for Latino Studies, and the other is a recently published book called Life Undocumented Latinx Youth Navigating Place and Belonging. And we'll be discussing this book at the end of the semester. So you have time to get that one. And then here you have the course schedule. It will tell you every week what theme we're going to be talking about, what the readings are, if there are particular assignments, when they are due. So make sure to go through this, mark on your calendars when things are due. Most of these readings, in addition to the keywords book, are going to be articles that you will find posted on the Canvas module for that particular week. And so this, looking at this really gives you a sense of the kinds of things we'll be talking about and what the deadlines are so that you can plan your calendar for the semester. Now I want to quickly here share our Canvas page as well. So when you go to Canvas for this class, the homepage will be set to the syllabus page. Here you'll find pretty much everything that I just discussed. Here is where you can download the full syllabus I just shared with you, but I also pulled some of those sections in the syllabus and created pages for each one for easy access. So if you forget, or want to know what are the books and materials for this class, you can click here and it'll tell you the same thing that it tells you on the syllabus. The module section is the other section that you'll be using, and this is for week 1, which I've already published. And so to give you an idea of what this section would look like for every week. So for week 1, you should begin, every week has an introduction page. And you should always start there because it gives you the announcements. Any announcements I may have to share about the class. And it has a this week's to-do section, which lists every single thing you need to do. So what you have to read, what videos to watch, what this week we have the discussion post guidelines to read through. I also add a list of advice from previous students who have taken the class for you. We have this brief article to look at. You have your discussion for the week, the syllabus quiz, and the Getting to Know You survey, which is a short survey where I ask you questions that help me have a sense of who's in the class and any particular needs that you may have. So that's what the module for this first week looks like. But every week, a new one will pop here for you, and it will have a similar kind of structure to it with the introduction page, a videos page, any readings that are outside of the textbooks, what the discussion post is, and any additional assignments. So that's going to pretty much look the same way every week. If you want to know about your grades, make sure to check the grades section regularly so you have a sense of when I've posted grades for a particular assignment, you can see what you've received for that assignment. You also can get a sense of how you're doing throughout the semester in the course. So that pretty much covers the gist of what the course is about and what your assignments are and so on. However, if you still have any questions, please make sure to email me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Have a wonderful week.